Well, welcome in everyone to Betting Weekly Live. It's Friday, the 17th of October. You with Steve Wyss and Nigel Seeley. It's not often me and you are on the Friday show, Nigel. This is rare times. How's it going?
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Steve. Good to be back on the show. I think I've got to get my shifts in after going away to watching England play in Latvia. So trying to get in a little bit of work before the weekend. Yeah, I mean, it's usually someone else's opinion, but I think the boys have worked hard. And so I thought it would be good for me to step in and try to keep up the good run of form that everyone's having on the channel. I saw Nathan Joyce smashing it again. Lots of good winners as well. So it's always pressure on me when I come on, and hopefully we can. Last time I was on the Champions League and we smashed it out of the park, so let's hope we can do that again.
Yeah, you were out there in Riga, weren't you? Watching England. What is Latvia like? Tell us about Latvia.
Well, they've got amazing museums. They've got some really great horses. We'll never see nothing of Latvia. We stayed in a bar and a football ground. That's all I know about Latvia. There's nothing really much to see. We were staying in the old town, which was very nice, but it was just very busy. I think it's crazy. It's just everyone is middle-aged English guys everywhere, and it was a lot of drinking involved, a lot of good time, a lot of good spirits, a lot of good laugh. Obviously, the match was a 5-0 win, so saw England get to the European, get through to the World Cup final. It was a good result for them. The result was never in doubt, was it really? But the stadium was great. You'd have liked the old stadium. It was an old sort of European stadium, big running track around it. Trees on the other side, a capacity of 10,000, and I was sitting next to Harry Kane's brother, which was quite in the stands. I was sitting next to him, and he scored obviously a couple of goals there for England, and he's on fire, isn't he, Harry Kane as well? So it was good to see him, but it was good. It was a good win, good trip, but I'm not getting any younger, and the recovery time it takes a bit longer nowadays.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That stadium did look quite different, I must say. Compared to the normal ones, with
it would be like a League Two stadium. I mean, the capacity was 10,000, so it's sort of that sort of high end League Two stadium. But it's two big sort of terraces on the side, a little stand.
Place to go or not?
Latvia,
tough place to go for say not England, but
no. Well, Andorra went there and got a 2-2 draw last time out. So I don't think we can say Latvia is a tough place to go. No.
Good. Welcome in, everyone. Leslie, Mac, Ray Burke, Ming Chung, Byron as well. I'm going to talk about the Strasbourg game. Dan Roebuck's in the house. Steve from Lynn, Steve Hall says, welcome home, Nigel. Mike is appreciative of Nathan's tips on the Brazilian midweek round. He absolutely smashed it, like we said. Byron, good to see you. Ian Messina, yeah, Huddersfield last night. I can't believe they blew that lead in injury time. They were really poor the second half, though. Rick Haley, G. Davis as well. ZT, good to see you. Rotterdam Tourist Board. Hello, Steve. Great to see you. Rotterdam Tourist Board.
You can read the rest of the comment out. Hello, Steve.
That is a wind-up on you, Nigel.
I'm not worried about that. Listen, we're all thick-skinned on this channel, and there's nothing. I like bands. I don't really care, really, to be honest. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, well, we've got some matches to discuss today, and also some tennis stuff. We're out of the international break now, thank goodness. I have to say, it's from a betting perspective, I thought the international break was really, really difficult at times, Nigel. Quite glad to have a bit of club soccer back. We're going to talk. I'm going to first of all go into the Bundesliga, Nigel. Union Berlin against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and I've not actually had a bet on either of these two teams yet this season in any of their matches, but I am going to have a small play today on under 2.5 goals at -109. Borussia Mönchengladbach, really, if we're being honest here, +210, I wouldn't have any interest in them at all because they really struggled. They're in the bottom three. They've only scored really one meaningful goal all season. Of course, the caveat is they were 6-0 down against Eintracht Frankfurt and scored 4 goals in what American football would call garbage time to lose 6-4. But really, that was just about saving embarrassment. This is a team that is desperately struggling for firepower. The captain, Tim Kleindenist, is still injured. Top scorer last season, weighed in with nearly double-digit assists as well. He's a huge loss for them. They're also in the middle of an interim manager spell with Eugen Polanski. He's trying to get the job, and typically what happened, they conceded 6 goals and they rebounded with a 0-0 draw in the previous round. And I think really when a team gets hit for so many goals, that they go into the shell for quite a bit of time. usually. He can't afford this sort of defensive problems. And, Union Berlin are one of those teams that they never have been high scorers, that the manager, Stefan Baumgartner, isn't someone I particularly rate that highly. He's not someone who's that offensive-minded either. Gladbach probably come here with a defensive game plan. And I was a bit surprised, actually, that the goal line was 2.5. I thought it'd be 2.25. I'm not going to go massively heavy on this one because Union Berlin, especially, never a team that I bet much on, full stop, to be honest with you. But I think the Gladbach angle's a good one. They're lacking goals. And after they conceded the six goals, and you often do this, Nigel, you're watching out for the immediate reaction at the other end. They've got to stop the rot, and I think they'll be very happy with a clean sheet again if they could.
Yeah, I know it's interesting you do on the unders on the Bundesliga. I mean, I'm just looking at how many goals there has been in the Bundesliga season. It's quite it's a very high scoring league, isn't it? I suppose when you take away the big teams, it's not so high scoring. But I mean, Union Berlin were always a good unders bet in seasons gone past. I haven't followed hardly any of the Bundesliga this year at all. So I'm glad to have you on the show to be able to look at it for me. But if Steve Wyss is betting an under bet, then you definitely want to be involved because he's usually an overman, and whenever he very rarely goes for the unders. And when he does have an under bet, I like to be involved. So I'll definitely be following you in this evening on the unders there.
Humble Levavian says under on Bundesliga always feels weird. It does after the start of the season, but I think it was almost too extreme with the amount of goals that were banging in across the board. Byron says this is one for the dogs, under or nothing. All of a sudden, Gladbach can't score. As I say, I think that Kleidenless injury has hit them hard. He's a massive part of their game plan. He is due back, I believe, in November. In fact, he did an interview a few weeks ago and he was asked, are you tempted to come back quicker than normal because the team needs you? He basically said, no, I'm not. I'm going to get fully fit. Otherwise, there's no point. But until he's back, I don't think you can really look at Gladbach in any capacity. That under 2.5 goals for Bet Rivers would be my bet on the game. And it looks like we're going to be continuing the trend of unders, Nigel. Championship here, Middlesbrough against Ipswich Town. Middlesbrough had a great start to the season, of course. Plus 170 here. But it's the unders that you like, Nigel.
Well, I mean, I think I think it's a good match, actually. I mean, this is something the Bundesliga, I really haven't much of interest, but the Championship, obviously my team's in the Championship. I watch a lot of Championship football. We have Jack who comes on, covers the Championship for us a lot, but it's a league that I analyse and watch quite a lot. Middlesbrough obviously started this season in great form. They haven't been in great form. No, they haven't won. I think they've won now in their last 5 matches. They've only won once, in their last 5 matches. They're up against an Ipswich side who everybody I spoke to before the season, people like that I really respect in the Championship market, people I listen to who are good bettors, good gamblers. Everybody really thought that Ipswich had the best squad and could go on and win it. And they were taking 3-1 about Ipswich to win this division. They haven't started anywhere near what they were capable of doing. And they're shorter than 3-1 to win the division. They're languishing in mid-table. So the market still believes that they are the team that's going to win this. Obviously, Coventry have had a fantastic start, but the Ipswich price, you would think, given the start they had and the fact that they are in that middle spots of the table, that they would be bigger than what they were at the start of the season. It isn't. They're actually shorter. So I think Ipswich are going to come good. And I think they were extremely lucky with the match against Blackburn the other day. They've got a game in hand, obviously, was it last month or so against Blackburn when they were trailing and then the referee had to cancel the match, abandon the match because of the wet pitch. And they were going to replay that game again, which does seem a little bit unfair. But I think if the season's won at the end of the season by just a couple of points, that's a massive result. If Ipswich can get a win from there, and there shouldn't be no reason why they couldn't on that one. The reason I like unders, I think that this is a match between two managers who have got their side set up exceptionally well. If you look at Middlesbrough this season at home, 4 matches at home, 2 1-0 wins, a 0-0 draw, and a 2-1 win against West Brom. So they're unbeaten at home, Middlesbrough, but 3 of the 4 have gone under 2.5 goals, including a 0-0 draw. Ipswich have been scoring goals for fun at home, but on the road, all their matches this season in all competitions, all 4 of them, have gone under 2.5 goals, and they're yet to win a match, surprisingly. All their best stuff is at home. On the road, it's unders. And you would have got more, on all the matches that have been unders. The other game, Blackburn, was looking like it was going to be an under match as well, so that would have cashed as well. 3 of the matches they played on the road have been 1-1 draws, under 2.5 goals. You cashed in everybody. I think this has got to look about a very, very, very careful match. Two managers that I think will just be very happy with a point here. I believe that they'll set themselves up to not give too much away. I'm leaning towards Ipswich slightly on the money line, but I think the draw no bet market is better because it wouldn't surprise me to see this being a draw, a 1-1. It wouldn't surprise me at all because so many 1-1s already this season. And the reason I do like that is because Middlesbrough have got a few injuries tonight. They've got 3 or 4 key players out. They've got the goalkeeper out as well. Dieng, who's played for Queen's Park Rangers, my side, a former goalkeeper there. He's a good player for them. I think the unders are slightly leaning towards a draw. If I was pushed for a correct score, somewhere for a little bit of pizza play, 1-1 would be the way I'd be angling, which is the favourite correct score. But I think this is tight. Under 2.5 goals is -143 at Bet Rivers. You could go down a little bit more and play the under 2.25, which is -113. I think that's what I'll be doing. Just getting a little bit more juice in the price rather than the line. 2 goals, I think, is where we're going to see here. And I think this will be cagey. 1-1. Narrow win it, possibly to Ipswich. Looking at some props, if you look at Jaden Philogene, who's come here from Aston Villa, come to Ipswich, a winger. He's been in fantastic form since he arrived. 7 goals in 18 appearances, including 5 in 8 championship matches. And, you'll get a nice kind of price for him. Cuts inside, has lots of shots. Looking at the prop, shots on targets. Jack Clark, another one. He's a proper player at this level. Scored 4 in his last 5 starts for Ipswich as well. So that's where I think they'll have the advantage in those attacking areas for Ipswich. Those 2 players are banging form. So if you're looking for a prop market, shots on target, maybe 2 or more shots, anytime goal scorer, Philogene and Jack Clark are the players I like. But I'm going to go for under 2.5 as my main. I'm going to go under 2.25 as my main play tonight at -113. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this match being a draw and 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the actual the anytime scorer odds, it's a bit surprising to see Sindre Valle Egeli is the favourite for Ipswich, +195, Hurst +215, Philogene +285, Jack Clark actually +500. But
Jack Clark has lots of shots. He's in form, Jack Clark. I mean, that could be a. I'd probably look at him more in the shot market. He does,
rather than the scoring, because we think it's an under. So, that's where you want to be doing shots on target, really, rather than the anytime scorer. Just looking now at the best price for Jack Clark, if I can find one, over +200 for a shot on target for Jack Clark.
Yeah, that looks a big price.
It does actually look quite a big price. Just having a look in the.
Philogene has a lot of shots as well. I mean, those 2, they're the 2 players which I think Ipswich will win this championship. I think they're going to come good and win it. And I think very quickly, and I mean, in the 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have a 2. We saw last season of the championship run away with 2 teams, didn't we, at the top end of it? Burnley and Leeds ran away with it. There was a 3-runner race at one stage, but effectively, those 2 sides were sort of top of the table, moved away. And I got a feeling this championship, we're going to see 2 teams pull away sort of around Christmassy time. And I think that will be Ipswich and Coventry. I think they're the best 2 sides in this division by some distance. And I think they'll pull away. But Ipswich got to start winning on the road. That's their big problem at the moment. But the market still loves them.
The poster, simply known as A, totally agrees with you. He can see a draw written all over it, 0-0 or 1-1. Rob Edwards will take a point, he thinks. And well done for being on the Bengal spread yesterday as well. Claudio is in the house. The English Premier League show on this platform is -27 units. Very poor record. Yeah. Claudio is the epitome of optimism, Nigel.
Well, listen, to be fair, Claudio, you show me and anyone else who puts their profit up. I could show you 5 or 6 podcasts through the Premier League and none of them will tell you, and I can monitor them and tell you none of them will be winning this season. But if you can show me someone else who puts their profit and loss up throughout the season, if you show me anyone, win or lose, who's got their profit figures up there, I'll be very pleased to have a conversation, speak to them. But no one else is as transparent as we do. We'll come good. There's absolutely no shadow about it. Well, I think we were way behind at the start last year. We think we just fell slightly behind. But transparency is the key. 100%. Obviously, we've got to win. I'm sure we'll come good, but we'll come good.
Absolutely.
And also, I mean, that's a good point there. Tristan's got a good point there. I mean, the Premier League show is losing, but obviously, we are picking prices that are only with Bet Rivers. So it's not like we have a full range of odds that we can choose. We've got to pick prices with Bet Rivers. We have to have 3 main markets on bets, and obviously, when I'm not, the European League, you guys are a different class, but when you've got 4 leagues to choose your best 3 bets on instead of 1 league, it's slightly different. We should do better. We will do better, but we'll bounce back.
Yeah, thanks for that comment, Jazzo J5 as well. Appreciate that very much. EFD, good to see you in the chat. Brad Betts Footy as well. Good day to you. The French Liga season resumes today. PSG are in action against Strasbourg. I don't think either team really would want to be on the Friday card after the international break. PSG, by far the most affected team internationally, with nearly the whole 11 that's projected to start this evening was involved in international action. I mean, it's something they're used to down the years. Strasbourg, just 3 senior players for them involved, although quite a few in the under-21s. Quite a young squad, Strasbourg. -335 favourites for PSG, generally -1.5 or -1 3/4 on the handicap. And the goal line is knocking around 3.25. The bet that I like here is actually both teams score. Yes, which is, I think, generously priced at -132. Strasbourg were very competitive against PSG last season. They lost 4-2 in the capital and actually beat PSG. It was in May, but they did beat them nevertheless. They've got a young, hungry manager in Liam Rossignol, and he will have definitely a tactical game plan for them. Strasbourg have scored in every single match bar 1 this season. So I think they're not the sort of team that will just come. A lot of teams will just come to Paris and try and, avoid an embarrassment and park the bus and offer nothing. But I think Strasbourg will come here with at least trying to score a goal. Byron was asking about the handicap, the plus 1.75, and I kind of do quite like it as well. But it's the sort of game they could, lose 3-1 or 4-2 last season. So sometimes with these teams, you've got to find the right angle to go with them. And for me, it is that both teams score yes angle. I don't think PSG will be at their best at all, not on a Friday after an international break. It's a real killer, that is. And a bit surprised they were given this slot. But I suppose everyone has to do it every now and then, don't they?
Who did France play, though, Steve? Excuse me. Who did France play in midweek?
Iceland.
At home?
They played against. No, they're away from home.
Okay.
But I mean,
because obviously you could have like international breaks, but the majority of them would have played for France, wouldn't they? But so the international breaks when you're away, if you're at home to Gibraltar, it's not going to be as bad as certain matches and matchups will make a much more difference for your team playing the following week. I think the other port to the Paris Saint-Germain has got obviously a Champions League match to play in midweek as well, and we know the fate of a lot of these sides before Champions League football. I think if you just bet blind on the Asian handicap, teams on the big handicaps like this one will be, if you bet the opposition plus the start, I think you'd make money over the last 3 or 4. I'll have a look at it in detail, but I think you would definitely make money on it. And a trip to Bayer Leverkusen on a Tuesday night and tonight, that might be on their mindset.
Yeah, it's quite a big game actually. No doubt about it whatsoever. I think Strasbourg can get on the score sheet here. Injury news Dan was asking about. Dembele, of course, is ruled out. Now, Marquinhos is unlikely to play. Ruiz and Neves as well, highly doubtful. And, it's just not the sort of time of year you take risks with players because you can get setbacks and stuff, especially with Champions League on the horizon. I like that. Both teams score yes at -132. Stairway to 7 says PSG all 4 matches in September won or lost to 0. Due with both teams to score, yes, aren't we? Pretty much. Just looking at some other comments across the channel. Maserati Fox, good to see you in there. He's taking the bet in the Danish League, Copenhagen, Silkeborg. Both teams to score, yes. And again, another one looking at that draw in the Middlesbrough Ipswich. Humble Levati and both teams score. And Strasbourg plus 2.5 on the handicap, is that for Humble Levadian? We're going to talk about tennis very, very soon, don't you worry. Kevin Broadser asks, Tottenham plus money to finish top 4 or top 5. Are they going to be able to sustain it under Frank? You can actually get even money with Bet Rivers that they finish in the top 6, Kevin.
I'd rather go down to the 6 rather than take the top 4. I think top 4's a bit optimistic now, isn't it? Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, one place. Chelsea, I think at this moment in time, a little bit way, well, not a little, quite a bit way ahead of Tottenham. Then what do you got after that? Newcastle, Man United. Can they do anything this season? Can they show a little bit more form? I think they're going to show a little bit of courage. Crystal Palace doing brilliantly. I think the top 4 spots are done. 5th, you're playing for 1 spot with 3 teams. 6, you got half a chance. Top 6 at even money with Bet Rivers would be the better bet for me.
Yeah, I like top 6 for Spurs. I think they will go well. But top 4, I'm not ruling them out of it, but I think they're only plus 275 for that. You might as well take even money top 6, really. There's one other soccer game I just want to discuss before we move to the tennis. This is in Spain, La Liga. Real Oviedo against Espanyol. Saw quite a few people in chat suggesting that Espanyol are a good bet here. They are the better team, but there is a crucial dynamic here. We've got to consider it. Real Oviedo are under brand new management for this game. They sacked the previous coach after losing all but 2 fixtures this season. They brought back a guy called Luis Carrion, who was at Las Palmas last season. He only lasted 9 matches, though. 3 draws and 6 defeats for him for Las Palmas. He was shown the door. He was at Real Oviedo 2 seasons ago and averaged 1.69 points per game. Got them to the La Liga 2 playoffs, where actually they lost a final against Espanyol. So it's a bit of a revenge game for this manager. I can't get involved because of this. I don't no idea whether they're going to get a good reaction or not. Gun to my head here, actually, the home advantage with a new manager, you can really get fired up, can't you? So I'm not going to bet on this one. Good luck if you're taking anything in the game. I'm going to sit and watch and see what this Luis Carrion has an effect with managers. In general, Nigel, whenever a new manager comes in, I will get involved if I'm really confident about him, how I know he's going to, his style and stuff like that. But if you're not confident about the manager, I always stay away from teams that are to change.
Yeah, I did some look at it. I did look at it last season. I think that the most anybody's ever won a new manager, I think since the Premier League, I think it's 4 matches where they've won 4 successive matches, and no one's ever won. We said about the manager bounce back. It's not like they go on a winning run ever and completely change things around. And not many of them win their first match. They draw a lot, take a bit of time. They're better. Their rate is in the better in the second match. Obviously, the market loves a new manager. I actually bet a team tomorrow. We've got in League One. We've got a new manager. I bet Luton.
Yeah, I have as well.
I bet Luton tomorrow minus 0.75 to beat Mansfield tomorrow, and that's a new manager. And I think the market will love it because you Jack Wilshere, obviously the Arsenal and England striker. I think English midfielder. I think he'll get something out of them, and they're an underproving team who need a little bit of a boost, and he'll give them a little boost for sure. Whether he be a good manager appointment in matches down the line or success of the season, but they're a team who's in the Premier League. What 2-3 seasons ago now, wasn't it? And now you can bet them at a bettable price to beat Mansfield at home. No disrespect for anybody if they're a Mansfield fan on here, but you think about what they were doing with a lot of the same players, really, and you can get them at a very nice price. So I've gone with them. They're a new manager, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I've gone with the same there as well. It's more to do with just a huge boost for the players, I think, to get Jack Wilshere in, and hopefully they can get more confident Luton Town there. FCA Football, good to see you from Thailand. City should really win the title. I can't take Arsenal seriously until they start scoring more goals. Arsenal, we talked about this yesterday on the show with Simon Holden, minus money favourites to win the Premier League now.
What did he think of it?
He said City are a bet.
He's on them, is he?
Yeah, so... it's one of those where I think Manchester City are quite an attractive price right now. But
what happens if Haaland gets injured?
Well, they can't win the title, can they?
They can't. Well, what happened? But if you said that to any team, Chelsea are without Cole Palmer for another 6 weeks, and they're doing all right without him. They're scoring goals. Arsenal, I think there's any player that gets injured for the Arsenal team, they'll have enough cover. Liverpool, they got so much cover in every position. It's all about Haaland, isn't it? I mean, Foden's back, but if Haaland gets injured, and he's out for 6 weeks like Cole Palmer is. And can Man City win the title? And I think they're very, very heavily reliant on him. There'll be no player in the Premier League that will move the market if he doesn't play like Haaland. And that's the key. If we had a crystal ball and said Haaland will play all season, yes, I'd bet him at 3-1 to win the Premier League. But if Haaland's out, I wouldn't bet him.
Tristan says attack wins you matches, defence wins you titles, but it hasn't won them the title, has it? Tristan, Arsenal, they have had the best defence for the last 2 years. Still haven't won the title. But I must say this year, I think the only thing that can really beat Arsenal is themselves or if the injuries do get them in defence. They've got more cover in defence this year.
I'd rather bet Arsenal to win the Champions League than the Premier League at the prices.
Which is probably about 6-1.
Yeah, I think they're a better bet to win that minus money is to me. I wouldn't bet them to win the Premier League, and I do think it's a short price. But there is a huge amount of support for Man City. But you've got to remember, Haaland's playing a lot of football at the moment, lots.
He is,
and if he got injured, that would really worry me. But I think Arsenal will better bet the Champions League to win that than the Premier League.
Stairway at 7 says Arteta not so winner. Does have an FA Cup and a Community Shield in his trophy cabinet as a manager. He wants to add the Premier League or Champions League. That is.
But it took Alex Ferguson. How long did it take Alex Ferguson to win something at Man United?
Quite a long time.
Quite a long time. You know, it's very rare that people just come into management. Jurgen Klopp done it. Obviously, you've got Arne Slot who's done incredible win, but it's very, very rare to do it.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm going to move on to tennis now, but before that, Chamu Mombrezzi, welcome in. He's got the bet for the most random league today. Paphos against Ethenakos, over 2.5 goals. This is the Cypriot League or Cup. Good luck with that one. We love to see those sort of plays in chat. Okay, on to the tennis then, Nigel. And matches are all over the world right now. Asian swing, stuff like that. Osaka here, WTA, outright market. And it's close betting here. Is there anyone worth betting on?
Well, I mean, the Osaka is the surprise package. She's not really a surprise, but a girl's got a tremendous future. A girl called Teresa Valentova. She's only 18, a Czech girl who's come through qualification here and got through to the semi-finals and looked really good. Elise Mertens, she beat Elia, who's a quality player. She beat Danilovic down the quarterfinal. A girl with a huge, huge future on her. But I'm surprised that she's plus 160 to win this. You've got Leylah Fernandez there, plus 180, former US Open finalist who got beat by obviously Emma Raducanu the year she went all the way to the final. She's in the top 25 in the world here, and she's way above all of these in the world rankings. And I think, you know, if you have a bet, Fernandez would be the bet for me on the outright market. Valentova is a great talent, don't get me wrong, but I don't think she deserves to be favourite, because if whoever Fernandez with Valentova, if Fernandez was a dog, I'd bet Valentova there. So that would be. You can't really make a case for anyone in semi-finals of tennis matches, or semi-finals of cup competitions or anything like that. The prices are bang right, aren't they? It's just a straight double to win the match and whoever you play in the finals. There's nothing you can really find some value of. But Valentova is a very, very talented young player, and the market to me looks like they've gone a little bit stronger.
The actual semi-final matches. Here we go. We've got. Again, relatively close-ish betting heat. Certainly the top match there. Valentova minus 278 in the second semi-final. Would there be any bets in these matches, spreads or game totals, or any extras that you might look at, Nigel?
Well, I mean, there's nothing that's going by these matches because the players have never played each other. So there's no head-to-head records. A lot of players here are pretty unknown. We don't know they've never been in the situation before, especially Valentova. So the nerve situation, you can't really gauge on it. I think Fernandez will probably beat Kirstia. Christian will give Valentova a better. I think Christian on the spread could be a little bit of a bet ahead of the Valentova because the market is so strong on her. I mean, if that was the first round of the tournament, I would guess that Valentova would probably be around about minus 150. There's a huge rebase on her because the market loves her and she's a good player. Christian, the Romanian girl's had a good year this year, and she's had the advantage that her opponent, Naomi Osaka, pulled out of their quarterfinal. She hasn't played, so she's going to be very, very fresh for this match. So I'd probably look at the 4.5 Christian on the game spread, minus 134, and I would think that Lena Fernandez would probably edge Kirstia. So, but Valentine, the take for me on this match is Valentova. However much of a talented player she is, and however she's going to be a top 20 player for sure, probably even go higher than that. You're betting her at the unknown, and she's extremely short in her match, and she's extremely short to win it. We don't know where she's going to handle pressure, and the pressure is a big thing in tennis, obviously.
Gene Swart 47 says Valentova looks very short, and Christian on the game spread. So Osaka was in Osaka then, Nigel?
She was, yeah. I know. I asked the question, how many players have played in the 10? I think it was Stairway to 7 said to me it was what Malavir Washington played in Washington. I didn't know anybody else other than Naomi Osaka plays in Osaka. So I don't know if there's anybody else, but Malavir Washington played in Washington and Osaka played in Osaka. But unfortunately, she didn't play last night. She had to retire before the match. So Christian's fresh.
There's another WTA event going on. This is in Ningbo over in China. This is, some tasty looking games. Rybakina against Paulini, Schneider, Alexandrova. Rybakina there, nearly minus 200 favourite. The other match, really, really close betting heat. What do we think of this event?
Well, it's quite slow. The conditions. It looks a little bit quicker than it has been in recent years, but it's usually quite a slow surface, which would tend to help Paulini. The slower it is, she's more adaptable in the clay and the slower conditions than Rybakina. Rybakina wants it as quick as possible. But there's an extra incentive here. They're playing for spots to get into the Tour Championship, which is in a couple of weeks' time. And it's the top 8 tennis players who get into it already. And there's only 2 spots up for grabs. And Paulini has now jumped into 6th spot in that. And Rybakina is 9th. A win here will put her into 8th. So she'll be in to get she'll go into 8th, and she'll be in the boss seat to get the big money ahead of Mira Andreeva at the Tour Championship. So it's a big match for Rybakina. Paulini has played an awful lot of tennis in recent weeks. It means a huge amount to her to get to that Tour Championship. But semi-finalist last week against Goff, and Anisimova quarterfinalist in Beijing. Long matches as well, long matches. And I think she's played a lot of tennis. That is why Rybakina is the price she is for this one, because of fatigue for Paulini, and also because there is a massive incentive for Rybakina to win it, to force herself into the top, into number 8, to get her into the Tour Championships. The other match, Alexandrova is 10th in the race for the Tour Championships. She probably has to win this tournament and then win another tournament, and then she might force her way into it. And Deanna Schneider, to me, is a player with so much talent, but hasn't got it mentally. And I think Alexandrova will get the better of Schneider there. They've met twice before, 1 win apiece, but I can see Alexandrova winning that. And if you don't like, if you want to have a bet on the tennis and have a bit of interest in it, Alexandrova to cover the handicap, it'll probably be about a 1.5 or maybe a 2.5 handicap. Schneider is not playing well despite making the semi-finals here. And I think the incentive for Alexandrova to push all the way to get in those Tour Championships after what's been a really, really long season, the motivation to get into the top 8 in the world, to have your opportunity to play in that big money event is really important this time of year. And Alexandrova is one person who still has a chance of doing it. So Alexandrova to cover the spread for me.
A says, I backed Yastremska on the spread yesterday, and he's going to fade Rybakina again. And Gene Swart, absolutely, as Nigel said, pressure on Rybakina. Just looking at some other. Oh yeah, Leslie Matt. There's an exhibition, isn't there? Sinner against Alcaraz today. I saw that. Is that in Saudi Arabia or somewhere? I don't know if you can bet on it or not, but
I think Jean Schwartz just said there that Alexandrova can't make it. So mathematically, you have to pay a certain amount of points. I thought she may be able to win this tournament and then win the next tournament, but obviously she's not entered the next week, which means she hasn't got enough points to do it. So she's probably going to finish top 10. But there's still incentive to finish top 10 in the world. And at this moment in time, she's playing a lot better level than Schneider, but the court conditions may be a bit of an issue for her. So probably don't have a bet on that then if that isn't the case. But if I was forced, I'd bet Alexandrova.
The ATP Tour is over in Kazakhstan, of all places, this week.
Yeah.
There's
three tournaments. There's 3 tournaments this week. This is the one we only know the odds about.
Yeah, we've got James Duckworth against Daniel Medvedev here, plus 475 on Duckworth. Medvedev minus 715. What's your take on this?
Jack Duckworth, Vera's old man. No, I mean James Duckworth. He's been around. He's been around for a long time. He is the journeyman. He's outside the top 100 in the world. He's had an incredible run here, but Medvedev looks a bit motivated this week. He wants to win this tournament. He's had an awful year. He's had back-to-back semi-finals in Beijing and Shanghai. He wants to go one bet here. Played a lot of tennis. Rinda Konechik beat him in a long match in Shanghai. Lerner Tien in a marathon match in Beijing. Listen, it's minus 715. Medvedev should win it. I wouldn't have a bet on it at all, but he should win it. But the interesting one for us is as we're live now, Mpechi Perigard is playing Lorenzo Musetti, and our pick for the tournament this week at 28-1 is Mpechi Perigard over in Brussels, and he's one set up, and he's 5-5, and he was 28-1 at the start. And hopefully we can get him through to the semi-finals, and then we're one away from cashing a 14-1 winner from Sean on game bet match. So Mpechi Perigard, and that court is absolutely lightning fast. So Mpechi Perigard, if he wins this match, which is looking good at the moment, will take some very hard stopping in that tournament, and we may cash a 28-1 winner.
Yeah, let's hope we can get the job done there. You can actually bet on these exhibitions today. 6 Kings Slam, Taylor Fritz against Novak Djokovic, and Carlos Alcaraz, Yannick Sinner. If you're interested in that, Bet Rivers are offering odds. I don't know exactly what it is. Well, it is an exhibition, isn't it? But the equivalent of a tennis friendly, I suppose, Nigel.
Because there's a comment there from FGA Football where he says about, if obviously Haaland, I mean, he's comparing to Gyökeres and Saka. Well, Gyökeres, the replacement for Gyökeres will be Havertz. I don't think that'll be much of a replacement. I mean, Havertz, when he comes back, if Gyökeres is out, Havertz is there. They could go again in the January window and probably get a striker. And you've got and Saka at this moment in time. I mean, when Saka only returned from injury, the best player for Arsenal in the first 6 matches of the season was Madueke. And he could play in the same role as him. So I don't think that's a real downgrade. Nothing massive. But without Haaland, I don't think Mamouche is anywhere near that level. And, we saw last season without Haaland wasn't scoring, that everything changed. But Rodri did come back, but I just think Haaland is the key, man.
It's massive.
Massive. I mean, if he doesn't go out of the team, you look at if he's not in the team, you look how much the Asian line moves. More influential than anybody in probably.
Well, when you think about it, Nigel, when he used to get injured, they had Julian Alvarez as the backup.
Yeah.
And Alvarez is a very good player. Completely different type of player, but very good striker. They don't have that backup now. Nobody moves odds like Haaland, whether he's in or out. He's like the Lamar Jackson of the soccer world. It's just so important. So, yeah. Well, that will do it for today. We've got the Betting Weekly Insider.
I'll just give you a couple of little matches that if anyone's interested on there. I've had a couple of bets on the League 2 across in England this week. I've just sort of had a look through, and I quite like a couple of stuff on Saturday. Obviously, I mentioned there, I like Luton to beat a Mansfield. I bet minus 0.75 on the Asian handicap. I thought that was a nice bet. I know Jack Wilshere's going to be his first match, but I do think that will give the club a bit of a boost. Looking in League 2, there's a couple of bets I like there. I like Barnet to beat Notts County at plus 110. Barnet are on the up at the moment. I fancy them to win the division in League 2. They've got so many goals. Notts County got some injuries as well. Barnet are scoring goals for fun at the moment. They've hit their swagger. They played really well in the National League last season. It took them time to adapt, but now they're on form. And I think Notts County, without the goals of the 2 strikers that they had last season, the McGoldrick in the side as well, they're not the same team. They're on the decline, Notts County, where Barnet definitely on the up. And I think at plus money, they're a decent price. And the other one I like is the MK Dons. I think the MK Dons are the best team in League 2 by some distance. They've got the best squad. They've had so many problems off the pitch finding the right manager. They've got the backing of some Far East money as well. And they're at home to Crewe, who last week played my local team, Bromley. And by all accounts, they're absolutely dreadful. And Bromley won 1-0. I think MK Dons will win that fairly comfortably as well. I like them on the money line, but you could bet them a minus one to enhance your price. So there's a couple of lower level English matches. Obviously, the Premier League show is out there with all our bets. If you want to watch it, great. If you don't, with minus 27 units, it's entirely up to you. But like I say, we'll bounce back. And you guys have got your extra time show dropping after the show as well. Yeah,
MK Dons were very, very impressive last week, I must say. 4-0 win and it could have been many, many more. I've got a ticket on them to win Liga 2. I still think it'll cash, actually.
I think they'll win it. I think they'll win it. I think Barnet will go close in that league. Swindon will run out of gas, and in League One, in the Championship, the market is going to pull away with those top two, as I said. And I think a nice little bet now would be Ipswich or Coventry, Ipswich and Coventry individually in a parlay with MK Dons, the little double. I think that would be a bet. Both two different bets, but we've got banker MK Dons. I think you'll find that the Championship, Ipswich and Coventry, on everyone's data and ratings, will pull away.
Who you got for League One? I think the League One market is really tough because a lot of the better teams have sort of got off to a mediocre start.
Well, I speak to a lot of guys. I spent a lot watching Laos at Wimbledon. I spent a lot of time, obviously, I had a season ticket at Bromley, and I speak to a lot of guys who really, really watch it. And a good mate of mine told me that Cardiff would win that division. They started off looking like top level Barcelona. They've dipped a little bit, but if they're in with the shout, they've got the money to invest, and they will, and they're okay. But I mean, it's a tight division, that League One. But if I was pushing now, Cardiff, but no, there's a lot of teams. I think the Championship could very quickly become a 2-run race after Christmas, and I think MK Dons could put 5 wins together and suddenly be very, very short very quickly.
Yeah, I think Cardiff are the most likely winner of that league. I don't see Stevenage lasting the pace. I think Bradford probably drop to the playoffs. Lincoln are a little bit of a dark horse. Got our old boss, Scoobs, former Leeds manager, is doing great work there. And I still think Luton will come into at least the playoffs, possibly even threaten second, maybe. But we'll have to wait and see. The Betting Weekly Insider is going to be released to your inboxes very, very soon. If you're not signed up, please do it. Totally free content. Several picks across the board this weekend in the Premier League, Euro matches. Have you got a couple of official plays on there this week, Nigel? I think you probably have.
I didn't put an official play. I've decided to just keep my powder dry a little bit on that because I'm not having a good time, and I was away in a Latvian bar, so I decided not to have a bet on it this week. But I do like the under 2.5 goals in the Burnley match this week against your boys Leeds. That's my best bet in the Premier League this week.
Yeah, that is my best bet in the Premier League this weekend as well. Ian was asking best bet for the weekend. I do like the unders there. Have a great weekend, everyone. Cash some winning tickets. As I do, check out the Premier League show. It's on the channel already. Extra Time drops in 18 minutes time. A couple of Betting Zoo episodes from me as well that have dropped in the last week. Plenty of content to keep you going over the weekend. And Betting Weekly Live US is going to be on at 5 p.m. Eastern today with Mike and Doug. They're going to be going through NFL matches for the weekend, and also
they've been good shows. Those guys, they've been really good shows. If you haven't watched them, I think you should watch them. They're entertaining, good coverage, good banter, lots of energy, and lots of winners. If you haven't had a chance and you want to have a bet on the NFL this week, busy slate, have a watch of those because they've been good. Really
well covered across all the American sports. But thanks again, Nigel. Appreciate your time.
Mate. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you as well. Take care, everyone. Remember to gamble responsibly, and we'll see you next week on Betting Weekly Live.